Hi, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Laura. Hi, hello, welcome. Today we are going to do a video, like a follow-up to the video that you had just seen, the last one that I posted, which was, would I keep these 10 palettes or would I repurchase these 10 palettes? Not would I keep them. That sounds like it's going to be a declutter. It is not. It's more of a, like, if I had gone to the market or lost these palettes, would I have repurchased them now? Kind of thing that I saw Haley do, and it really inspired me, so I kind of wanted to do it. And I figured just a nice follow-up to this video would be like a multi-palette bingo using the palettes that I don't necessarily feel I would repurchase, or some of them that I would repurchase. If you missed that video, there was a large portion of these palettes that I wouldn't have repurchased if I lost them today. So I wrote down all of the palettes, so I'm going to generate a number. No, I guess it doesn't matter. No, I am going to do it that way. So I'm going to generate a number 1 through 10 to select the palette, and then we'll like randomly select a shade in that palette. And I'm going to base my eye look off of like a palette bingo. So we're going to keep randomly picking about 4 to 5 shades for this eye look today. So I have 1 through 10 in my Pretty Random app. So I'm just going to pick a number. Okay, number 2. So on my list, the second palette is Lunar Lavender. So I'm going to draw a shade from this guy. Now this palette does have 6 eyeshadows in it. I mean, realistically, I'm hoping I get that one, but at the same time, I wouldn't be mad at one of these more neutral browns because that would be a little bit more wearable and versatile in any other combination of shades I get. So now I have 1 through 6. Maybe I need to clear my history just in case. We're going to use the 6th shade. Oh, perfect. So the palette is arranged this direction, so the 6th shade is just the last one in the palette. So this will be a nice, easy, super easy shade to work on. It's just a nice, neutral, cool toned matte brown. Now our second palette that we're going to randomly draw a shade from, number 10, and on my list, it is the Sour Patch Kids palette. Sorry, my chicken scratch writing. I was writing very quickly. So on the very bottom, it's this guy. Woo. So there are 18 shades in the Morphe and Sour Patch Kids Sour Then Sweet palette. So I have 1 through 18 on my Pretty Random. Shade number 16. So this is 18, 17, 16. Ooh, I don't think I've ever reached for this shade. And it's super pretty, so, oh my gosh, I'm excited. So I'm going to swatch that underneath the Lunar Lavender, the Lunar Lavender shade. It's more of like a topper kind of shade, so it's not like super like wham bam. I think this would benefit from a glitter glue. Ooh, I almost just dropped that palette. Man, I am butterfingers. Then we're going to pick another palette. I have 1 through 10. I also, just so you know, I don't have prevent rerolls on. So, but I'll clear the history just to start from scratch. So the next palette is going to be palette 1, which is actually my Astro Pink palette. So another 6-pan palette by Kaleidos. And the shade we're going to use from that is shade number 3. Ooh, I'm excited actually about this. Shade number 3 is actually one that already has pan in it, which is kind of exciting. That is in the shade Nebula. I'm a little nervous if I'm being quite honest, but that's exciting still. The 4th palette we're going to pick is my 6th palette on the list, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, it's the green brown palette. If you don't believe me, it's the green brown palette there. This is a 28-pan heifer of a palette, as I like to describe them. Super beautiful. Will it go with the already generated color story? Probably not, but it's fair game. Everything's fair game in this. Did I mention that I'm getting my hair done today for like the first time in 5 years? So I'm going to the salon at my store, and I'm a little nervous about what this look is going to be. But the 28 out of the 28 shades, we're going with shade number 9. The 9th shade, 7, 8, 9. I am so surprised that we have one that's gonna blend well with these. So that guy there, that's our color story so far. Next palette, the last palette, hopefully, that we're gonna pick is palette number 9 again. Is that the same palette? No, okay, that's the avocado toast palette. So this beauty. So if you don't know what the avocado toast palette looks like, it's this guy here with very distracting background on the palette itself, just the shine of it. So the shade that we're gonna use in this palette is going to be shade number 11. Oh, okay. So we have 4, 8, 12, 11 is the shade Paprika. Oh man, this is going to kind of throw it all off, I feel like. Or maybe not. It's almost like it wanted to be neutral, but then the purples threw it off. I have no idea what I'm going to do for this look. So I'm going to go prime my eyes. I'm going to go put the palettes I don't need in front of me back away, and I will be back to make something out of this. Okay. I think I have an idea of what I'm going to do. Like an inkling of an idea of what I'm going to do. So in order to start this look out, I'm going to actually use my Lunar Lavender palette. So that guy at the very end. So I'm going to pick that up on just a small domed brush. This is actually an Ulta crease brush is the name of this one. I bought this years ago. So I'm starting out, man, I did not talk at all. I'm starting out with Crater Grove, and I'm just tucking that in the very outermost portion of the crease, or I guess the eye. So the very outer corner is kind of where I'm just tapping this shade. This is going to be one of those looks where I'm going to just trust the process until we're done with the look kind of thing. So I'm just going to bring it in a little bit. All right, now that I have Crater Grove laid down, I'm actually going to dip into my avocado toast palette and pick up that shade Paprika, that like rusty kind of shade. Super pretty. So I'm going to pick up that guy. I'm going to use the same brush. I have a rag on my lap that I'm just kind of cleaning the shades off as best as I can. And I'm going to put that right slightly more in from where we just put Crater Grove, creating like almost a gradient from the very deepest to that shade. I am going to need to change my lip color because this is not going to go the best with this, but that's fine. All right, now that I have these two shades down, I'm trying to find my blending brush I want to use. I'm going to use this brush. This, I don't know what it's called, but it's from e.l.f. It's like a blending or a crease brush. I don't know. I'm not picking out any product up, and I'm just going to, maybe I will pick up a smidge, just like the lightest tap of that, dust it off. Just for the outer corner color, that shade Crater Grove. I want it to have something to blend into, not just my skin tone. Well, this is kind of pretty already. I like those two shades together. Man, if I had like, I could create just a look with these two shades, do like an all matte, like neutral on the lid, and then something super shimmery on the inner corner, and I feel like that would look really pretty. Then I will be picking up the shade we drew from my Astro Pink palette. I just totally spaced on the name of this palette. Nebula, that center shade, and I am going to pick it up on the same brush that I used Crater Grove and the other one on. Again, I just blended the shade off. I'm going to put this on the innermost section because y'all, we're creating a halo eye. We're going to do kind of my take on a halo eye with all of these shades. I'm excited about this. So I'm getting that as close inward to that center portion as I can. I'm blending away. I'll show you. I have a rag and I'm just wiping off. And then I'm going to use this brush again to just kind of help blend the corner or the edge of the very inner corner. Since we're not going to have like a secondary shade in this portion of the lid, then I'm going to go back with that brush that we initially blended, wiping it off again, and using that to help blend up and push back the purple into the rest of the crease and the rest of the transition. First thing I want to do is I'm going to go in with my green brown palette, and I'm going to pick up that shade Moonstone. That's going to go all over the mobile lid. I'm just going to, what brush do I want to use? Do I want to just use my finger? yeah, I'm just going to use my finger with this. Not something I typically like to do, but it's fine. Actually, that was super, super easy to put on with my finger. So I'm taking that brush that had the purple on, well, that had every shade on it really, but I'm using it now that it's had purple on it and just kind of reinforcing the inner portion of the lid so the purple doesn't get super lost. I am going to take a touch of, this is just the Too Faced glitter primer, and then I'm going to go pick up my Sour Patch Kids palette and that shade Party Time. Now I am going to use a brush for this because I like a little bit more precise area. I'm kind of scrubbing in it because they're a little bit firmly pressed. Not my favorite formula. Then I'm just going to tap this, starting over on this side where the purple is already, and I'm going to just feather that back towards the rest of that lid shade. Kind of reinforcing the fact that that inner corner I want mostly purple and mostly to like lean towards that purple. You can tell a lot more in person the two differences in the shades, like where the purple that we just placed is versus where that like other shimmer was. But I do want to just tap a little bit more of Moonstone over where the shimmer on the furthest part is. So where we did not just place the purple, just so this kind of gets a little extra love and kind of has like a dimensional shift to it. Then after that, I'm going to go in with the shade Paprika from the Avocado Toast palette. I'm just going to dive in straight to this kind of brush and re-intensify this corner or this outer crease kind of shade just because I feel like Paprika got lost. I also want to pick up more of the Lunar Lavender shade, the shade Crater Grove up here, and re-intensify the outermost portion of the eye look just again so that shade doesn't get lost. So I guess what I want to do is kind of just reinforce the halo underneath. So to start with that, I'm going to pick up Paprika from this palette, and I'm going to really lightly, I'm going to start with the outer portion and blend it very, very lightly to the inner section of the lid, the under. So after we put Paprika down on the lower lash line, I am going to pick up a bit of Nebula. Man, that was a hard one for me to think of. I'm going to put it on this inner lower lash line. So right here, I am going to lightly tap into Crater Grove, the deepest shade again. Literally just tap into it just to like connect the outer corner with that. I'm going to take Moonstone from the Green Brown palette. I'm going to tap into that. That's going to go on the very center lid, the lower lid, just to bridge those together again. All right, and then I want to use another shade from the Kaleidos Futurism 3, the Astro Pink palette for my inner corner. I am going to go in with the shade here called Light Year. That's going to be my inner corner shade just because I don't think that there's anything that's really going to fit the bill quite as much. So using that, just right there. So I'm going to go put mascara, liner, etc. and then probably just lighten my lip color a little bit, and I'll be right back. So that is it for my palette bingo using the palettes from my Would I Repurchase Them video that I did a day ago. A couple days ago at this point. But yeah, I actually am really impressed with the look that I was able to come up with such a like polar opposite kind of color story. We had those really warm tones, we had the really cool tones. I think that this looks really pretty, and I also think it's gonna like go well with my hair. I am getting my hair dyed and a lot cut, styled, all that. So any guesses with my hair color, let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are staying healthy, sane, and safe, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!